Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Raw is Jericho! Hell yeah! Get some
You will rest in peace.
The whole world will acknowledge me.
And here we are. The Addicts are back. I'm Matt, and I am with special guest, who soon may be permanent replacement, Nick Jabberjaw from the Scoreboard Addicts. How's it going, Nick?
It's going. It's going. I'm living the dream. Just living my best life, dude. Living my best life. Absolutely.
And that's all we can ask for.
That's
you know,
what you can hope for, man.
Yeah.
We're here. We're not at work. We're talking about our stuff. What more could you want? I'm with my buddy. Like, come on. Like, life is good.
I love it.
Yeah.
We've been gone for a while, schedules, other stuff, but we're back. We're here. It's June, but no. And I'm ready. I'm ready to have a good time and talk a little wrestling.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping to make a really good intro and I hit my music and nothing came out, and I'm kind of like upset. I don't know. Can you hear it? Because I can't hear it.
No, I can't. I don't.
Damn it! What is going on? This is hurtful. I wanted to play the
related to the shirt.
I got my NWO shirt on. I was gonna play some Wolfpack.
Oh,
and nothing happened, and I don't know why. So it's disconcerting to say the very least.
It's because I'm not repping my Wolfpack shirt.
I guess so.
I'll get the memo for next time.
Oh, I know what happened. I think I figured it out. Hold on, I got some technical difficulty. Like you said, I've been out of town for a bit. I was out doing my job for a bit, which is always painful. But I persevere.
Yeah.
And maybe this will do it. No, that didn't do it. Damn it. Wait, hold on.
Knifed.
There we go. I think I got it now. How about now? Is that it? What was really cool was back in the early 2000s, Jason Giambi used to come to the plate.
Yes!
His Wolfpack music.
Oh, I loved it. I remember that. That's a throwback.
And that's going to be my, and then we went from Jason Giambi coming into the Wolfpack music. And we went from that to Nick Johnson coming to Party in the USA. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in a couple of weeks, it will be a Party in the USA. And it is Money in the Bank season. Money in the Bank is a week from this Saturday, and I don't know if you caught Monday Night Raw. I caught bits and pieces. The melatonin kicked in quicker than I expected.
I will not lie to you. I did not catch Monday Night Raw. I am tracking, however, Monday. Apparently, LA Knight is a favorite to win.
Yeah, he is. LA Knight, long overdue. It's about time that, he's on the main roster in a good position.
I am not a fan of his name.
His name is terrible, but he makes it work. Like, he gets it over like L.A. Knight. Like, it's, and that's what the greats could do.
There's two things I want to say. The first thing is LA Knight, when I was a kid, and a lot of the young cats today may not remember this, but older heads will absolutely know what I'm talking about. There used to be a shoe brand called BK British Knights. They were called British Knights. That was an old school, like 70s, 80s, 60s shoe brand. But when we were kids, they came out with a shoe called BK Ratchtex. And they were the coolest shoe ever. They had like, imagine Uptowns, but instead of just an Uptown, it was like a rollerblade and it had like a ratchet thing, like a ratchet that you could crank. And whenever I hear LA Knight, I think of British Knights and I think of shoes. And I think of like British Knights had sex with LA Gear. Remember LA Gear shoes? You saw
I do.
Remember Payless? I don't think anybody else does. And then the second thing I wanted to say was, is that a Toys R Us bag behind you, or am I?
It is. It is a Toys R Us bag.
Toys R Us.
I commandeered it when they were going out of business. So, but with LA Knight, I mean, he went by Eli Drake in TNA, and I think that the name, he gets it over. It's something for the crowd to chant. It gets the crowd involved. And if the crowd's involved with you and you're getting a reaction, you know, that's key. You know, like my man Dom, ex-con Dom, the heat that he gets anytime he touches the microphone, even before he could start talking, the crowd is booing. Love it.
You know what?
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
lie to you. I'm not a fan of ex-con Dom. And honestly, a lot of the heat that he gets is not legit heat, bro. That's heat that people.
It's not.
It's legit heat because of his father. That's nothing to do with him.
It's not X-Pac heat. I know you're going there.
It's not X-Pac heat. I'm saying is the heat that he's getting with, if his father's not Rey Mysterio, he has zero heat. If his father's not Rey Mysterio, he's probably in an indie circuit someplace. Has that guy ever seen the inside of a gym?
If his dad's not Rey Mysterio, he's what Hulk Hogan said. He's bagging groceries at the grocery
store. That's what I'm saying. Hulk Hogan was absolutely right. He's bagging groceries.
He was right. And our former counterparts, the main event marks, I agreed. You know, you saw it. We were talking. Darby Allin, Jungle Boy. Wow, okay, you're over in AEW. You would be on 205 Live in WWE, drowning in NXT because you don't fit the bill of a wrestler.
And it's not on
the main event scene anyway.
But it's not a Ricochet type situation though. It's not a Mysterio. It's not a Mysterio type situation. Those guys just don't have that magic factor.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but ex-con Dom is leading the way in the no magic. All right.
You know,
he's carried by his father. He's carried by Rhea. Without those two people, he has no heat. He has zero interest. And again, has he seen the inside of a gym? Is he going to wrestle with that? Like, if you're going to wrestle with your arms exposed, at least work out your arms, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's done that. It's like he's getting tattoos to hide the fact that he never lifted a weight.
But to be fair, I would let Rhea Caribbean out. To be fair,
I have mixed feelings about Rhea. I don't know. I don't dislike her, but I don't like her. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings. Some days I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. Sometimes I see her when she was blonde, and I was like, "What was wrong with that woman?" But then again, I got a thing for blondes, so it's like,
you do.
How's Trish doing?
But speaking of blondes, you said you watched NXT last night, right?
I caught bits and pieces. I also caught Sebastian Maniscalco and Robert De Niro in About My Father, and it was excellent.
Oh, you know what? I saw the previews for that.
It was pretty good.
And it looks good. I like Sebastian.
Pretty good. Sebastian, but I did catch NXT. I honestly, I only caught like 2 matches. I caught bits and pieces of the Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins match. And I caught the majority of the I'm not gonna lie, I don't know these guys' names because they're NXT dudes, but Ali Mustafa, whatever his name was, the ref.
Oh, Wesley and
Wesley,
Tyler Bate.
Yes, I caught that match. Yeah. There were a lot of highlights. There were a few lowlights.
Okay,
but that's why they're on NXT, right? Because they still have lowlights. They still have lowlights in their move. And you know what though? That's okay. They're on NXT for a reason. It's not because they're the top tier talent, but I saw some good things where I'm like, well, they might be. And you know what? Guys like that, they can thank Shawn Michaels for even being considered somebody that could be somebody.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, they can thank those guys one day.
And Shawn Michaels might be a major topic for our next segment after, we do our rundown with the Mount Rushmore of the Attitude Era, because that's kind of like where it all started and how a lot of these guys, that are on NXT, and some on the main roster, they got into it because of Shawn, and his influence in NXT is definitely there. The Braun Breaker Seth match, I actually caught the whole thing of that, and Braun Breaker is going to be a star on the main roster. He held his own with Seth. Seth put him over, kicking out of the pedigree, 2 stomps to end the match. And it's, people will be like, oh, Seth came in and he beat Braun. Braun's buried. No. The rub alone from being in a match with Seth and holding his own.
Seth with NXT just to wrestle him.
Yeah.
Wow. It's wow. It's, what it reminds me of, and it doesn't happen anymore. It reminds me of indie, when somebody from the show, from somebody from WWE, generally, because WCW guys never did it, but WWE guys would head down to indie and have matches, one-offs with whoever their champion was. They might win, they might draw, but the fact that the indie guy got to get in the ring with Undertaker, with Kane, just to be in the ring with the guy was an honor.
Huge. Absolutely.
Seth Rollins, you know what it is? It's mixed. Nobody has respect for Seth Rollins because apparently only Roman Reigns deserves any respect.
Oh boy.
And nobody's respecting fucking Braun Breaker. The truth of the matter is very simple. The mere fact that Braun Breaker, who by comparison to those on the Raw roster is a nobody, right? Because he's on NXT. He's not on the main show. He's not on the flagship. The mere fact that he got to step in a ring with the heavyweight champion of the world should say how over he is.
Right. I agree.
Because you don't put the heavyweight champion in the world, right? The heavyweight, your flagship guy who's carrying your fucking trophy. You don't put him in the ring with somebody who's undeserving. Because the real truth of the matter is wrestling is scripted, yes. But if you're an amateur, you can hurt.
Would you wait?
I said
what?
Wrestling is scripted. I didn't use the word. Calm down. I know. I didn't say. Listen, I didn't say it.
Right? I like that. I need a little soundboard. Like what you had.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
But to put your flagship guy, your flag bearer in a ring with anybody shows the amount of respect and trust that you have in that young up and comer. And you're absolutely correct. Seth put him over. He didn't have to win to be over. You don't have to win, folks. You don't have to win to be over.
Wins and losses don't matter.
They don't. Only in AEW. Only in AEW.
And to further prove that, The Miz. It's June
21st.
What's 21st?
You know it's at the bottom of your laptop on the bottom right, right?
No, I have my Mac. I'm using a Mac, and I have the it's not my fault. My job blocks StreamYard, so I can't use my work laptop anymore. Anyway, it's June 21st. The Miz has not won a match at all this year. And you know what? He's still on TV. He's still a big deal. And the losses don't matter because at the end of the day, he goes home and he bangs Maurice. So
does he though?
I mean, he's got 2 kids.
That's just twice.
Twice is more than any of us will. So
way a lot, bro. You don't know what I'm doing.
Hey. What are you doing?
We'll talk offline.
All right, I like it. We'll take this offline. But Dana Brooke your girl. I feel like you're a fan of Dana Brooke.
I wouldn't say, I won't go as far as to say I'm a fan. I honestly, I don't follow that portion of wrestling. You know me, I'm old school. Popcorn matches, I walk away. But I did come across something today that I gotta say it kind of struck a chord with me. You know me, I'm not the sentimental, empathetic type. But today, Dana Brooke, like apparently she's getting a lot of X-Pac heat last night.
Yeah.
And she said, she posted on Twitter today. All right, I get it. Y'all think I suck. Got it. Noted. Awesome. And ... And my response to that was, damn, I mean, I don't really follow wrestling like that anymore, but that's harsh. Keep your head up. And you kind of got to feel bad because I've never seen her wrestle, to be honest with you. I've never seen her wrestle. I don't know what's wrong with her gimmick that she's not getting over. I can't imagine that in today's wrestling world, they're going to put anyone in the ring who's not physically able to get in the ring and hang. So she's got to have some form of athletic chops to get the job done. And if she's not getting over to a certain degree, you got to sit there and go, is it the bookers? Because generally speaking, you just got to be, if you're a female specifically, and I've seen pictures of her, if you're a piece of ass, you're going to get over. Just be pretty, and you're 50% of the way there. So she's already 50% over, and they still don't like her. So what's going on? What's happening?
Her name is Dana Brooke, and it's not Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Asuka, Bianca. Who else? I guess Rhea now. It's
when I watched Rasslin, all right, when I was a kid in the Attitude Era, she gets over.
Yeah, you're right.
So
dude,
what the fuck?
I did a fan access for WrestleMania 35. It was in MetLife. They had the fan access, and on the line, she was one of the wrestlers on the panel that, give them whatever you have to sign. And I'm not like a mark. I'm a mark, but like I'm not gonna call them like by their first name, like by their real name or whatever. So like, and I'm just like, I'm meeting you, so I'm gonna be nice. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Kind of like what I would do if I met you in person. But I saw her. I had a fanny pack of the WWE Championship. It's like that cooler. I know
what you're talking about. Yeah.
So she goes, "Oh, that's a nice championship," and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's cool. It's a fanny pack too." She goes, "Oh, that's awesome." She's like, "I wish I had a championship." Like almost like I get it. And I said, I'm like, "Listen, you deserve it. You're awesome in the ring, and I really hope one day that you do get a championship." She's like, "Oh, thank you." I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And and I get it. It's like people look at it like, "Oh, you're lucky to be employed." That's bullshit. Because like if you're working at a job and you work hard and you feel like you deserve something and you earned it and other people are getting that ahead of you, of course you're going to be upset. Of course you're going to be like, I want this. What do I have to do to get this? And that's the attitude that she has.
Well, Vince is back, so I think we all know what she's got to do to get this.
Yeah, right. Sign that NDA.
Womp, womp,
womp. But I agree with you. She's athletic. She was like a bodybuilder, I believe. She toned down.
Trish was a bodybuilder before Trish got into wrestling. Yeah. She was a model.
Oh, so hot, Trish Stratus. Another blonde.
Another blonde. A blonde with a tan. That's my kryptonite.
That's so hilarious. I feel for Dana. I hope that I know it's not like a storyline or anything, but like it's just I hope she gets her flowers and
it's real. It's real. It's not a storyline. It's real.
No, I know.
What you need to do is take that X-Pac heat and turn that shit into some legit heat. Make her a heel.
Yeah.
If they're gonna hate me, they need to do what they did with The Rock. If they're gonna hate me, I'm gonna give them 50 reasons to hate me.
Exactly.
And you know what? Rhea Ripley went through the same problem where she's a pretty blonde and she couldn't get over.
And she completely changed everything. And now look at her.
Yeah. Yeah. Pictures came today. I don't know if you saw the recent pictures of AJ Lee.
Dude,
she looking like a man.
She's jacked, bro. Her neck is like. Ugh.
What's going on with her eyebrows? You see her eyebrows? I'm like,
not one to talk about people's.
I'm looking at side by sides and I'm going, why would she let her eyebrows get like that? That doesn't seem appropriate. Like, why would you do that?
Eyebrows used to connect. You remember? I don't know if you remember in high school. I had terrible eyebrows, so I can't really talk about other people's eyebrows. I can't throw stones in this glass house.
So, I mean, this is, I guess she posted this on Instagram, which is fine. Listen, she's jacked. She looks jacked. What is going on with her eyebrows? Doesn't even look like her.
It doesn't look like her. It does that does not look like what she looked like when, and when she was in WWE.
I feel like she could literally just
even look at the picture underneath with Caitlyn. Like, look how small she is there compared to.
I'm not saying she can't be strong. She absolutely can. China was a beautiful woman, but just like taking your eyebrows. I don't know what you're doing with your eyebrows, and you get them fixed. And I'm not saying the body, but I'm an ugly man. Men are. Yeah. It's tolerable for a man to have a tattoo on his face and to be like a fat piece of trash. That's just like as long as he's bringing home the bacon. But like, if you want to be
ugly.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. By the way, I don't tweeze these. This is natural.
Oh,
I don't cut lines. I don't cut lines into my eyebrow. That's a scar from when I hit my head on the floor in basic training. So that's what that's from.
I get my eyebrows waxed. I'm not afraid to say I have to.
But you got a good head of hair and you got a nice beard. You're a handsome man.
Oh, thanks. Well, what are we even talking about right now? I already forgot.
AJ Lee's crazy.
Yes. What I do want to
agree in that picture, and it was 50% eyebrows. Her eyebrows look like they were pissed at her that they look like that.
It's like, you let us look like this.
It's like when you let your friends into the house and your wife is there and she's in her bathrobe and she just woke up with no makeup on, and you're like, why wouldn't you tell me company was over? And you're like, what are you talking about? Just Nick. Her eyebrows are looking at her like, bitch, we're out here. Do something about this.
Has that happened to you?
No, my girlfriend always looks beautiful.
No, I'm saying where you were the guest and then the wife was like, I didn't know Nick was here.
I was at your house and your wife came home and she was like, what the fuck?
That is true. She's like, why are you here?
She came home from the gym and she was like, you son of a bitch.
She's like, oh, I thought you would be gone by the time I got back. What I do want to talk about from Raw was Logan Paul.
He got destroyed by LA Knight, didn't he?
He got destroyed on the mic, but he announced that he's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. No qualifying match, no storyline. I mean, I missed the promo of him talking. I caught LA Knight not burying him, but smoking him. But I'm not upset about Logan Paul in this match. He's in it for star power and probably for like a frog splash off the top of the ladder through a table or something. I don't think he's going to win. I think it would be a huge, huge mistake if he wins the briefcase. I don't need to see him with the briefcase, on his podcast with it filled with his Prime energy drinks. I don't want that. Give the case to LA Knight and make it important now, seeing how you have two world champions, because they're hinting and they're talking like, oh, you could cash in on the Intercontinental title or the U.S. Championship. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you go through this match, the Money in the Bank, where Edge won his first world title, Jack Swagger won his first world title, Dolph Ziggler won a world title.
It's Jack Swagger, thanks.
Jack Swagger. Like so many historic moments happen with cash-ins for this world title. So many historic moments happen by cashing in on a world title. Why would you cash in on the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title? Makes no sense. I don't even want that idea out there. The point is to bring a mid-card guy to the main event. You're not going to be in the main event going for the IC title.
Yeah, I mean, listen. In my mind, you win Money in the Bank. You're going for there's only one championship worth having. Let's be honest. They've watered down the Intercontinental Championship to the point where it doesn't even friggin' matter anymore. It used to be that the Intercontinental Champion was the next heavyweight champion.
So only because you haven't been watching. I know you may not be a fan, but Gunther's he held the title for over a year.
He's holding the belt. It's all good.
But he's been holding it for over a year, and he's in important matches. He's a dominant champion to where the title's getting back to what it used to be rather than a hot potato because they don't know what to do with a guy.
Well, I mean, it's the same. To be fair, shouldn't the U.S. Championship be on the same par?
I think that's what they're trying to do again because Theory beat John Cena at WrestleMania with the U.S. title on the line.
Honestly, I watched that match and it was crap.
You know what? Doesn't matter because he beat Cena and he retained his championship.
Listen, I've seen Chief J Strongbow get thrown out of the ring during the Royal Rumble. I wasn't impressed by that either.
Right, but this is John Cena who is on the all-time Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Not for me. He's got 3 moves and that's it.
All right, you know what? This is the perfect segue.
He's steroiding up fucking Marky Mark, all right?
Wait. Let me run my promo for Underdog because we have it now. And when we come back, we'll talk about the Mount Rushmore of the Attitude Era. And I'll let you bury John Cena a little more.
He's not Attitude Era, so I don't even got to talk about him.
All right, perfect. We'll be right back.
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code ADDICTS to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
Gingerbread! That was awesome.
Gingerbread's so cute.
I love Gingerbread. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the main event. I was scrolling through Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and I came across this TikTok of I'm terrible. I don't remember. I can't find it. I liked it. It disappeared. I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but it was these guys on a podcast, and they were talking about the Mount Rushmore for the Attitude Era, and some of them were wild, and one of the things that the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because one of the guys said that someone shouldn't even be on the Mount Rushmore of the Attitude Era, and this person is going to make you upset. First, who is on your Mount Rushmore for the Attitude Era? And then we could get into that.
So, who's on my? I'm gonna easily the first one is going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rattlesnake is the George Washington to a certain degree, of the Attitude Era, as in he's the most well known, most popular. Nothing negative to really say about him per se as a wrestler or a person, other than some personal stuff. But when I say person, I don't mean like an individual gripe that Deborah McMichael might have had with him due to their tumultuous relationship. But I mean, like, he never told a fan to go fuck their mom or something like that. Like, yeah. For the most part, everybody's interactions with Stone Cold have been positive. So I feel like, to me, he's the George Washington of the Attitude Era. My number 2 guy is going to be Vince. because Vince is the financer. He's the Thomas Jefferson. He's the guy, the structure of the Attitude Era. Obviously, none of it happens without Vince. And what's really ticking me off right now in today's wrestling world is the disrespect that Vince is getting. And there's a lot of recency bias. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, Vince needs to go away. It's Vince's fucking business. If Vince wants to be there every single day, then don't go watch AEW. Go watch fucking NWA. If it's so like terrible because you think Vince is booking, then don't watch his show. It's his fucking shit. Like, I mean, that would be like sitting there and being like, this fucking Henry Ford guy sucks. I can't stand this Mustang. Well, fucking buy it. Like, seriously? Yeah. To me, it just anybody who has any type of ire or hatred toward Vince McMahon, you would be watching WCW and Ric Flair would still be champion, or Hogan would still be champion if it wasn't for fucking Vincent K. McMahon. It's that simple. I know it sounds harsh and like a little crazy, but that's true. My Teddy Roosevelt. It's going to be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Too easy. Why is that? And some people would say, well, Shawn wasn't even there for the Attitude Era. The truth of the matter is the Attitude Era is called the Attitude Era because of Shawn Michaels. Look it up. Whoever coined that term was talking about Shawn when they were like, I don't like his fucking attitude. And Vince was like, that's the attitude we fucking need. And thus the term, the Attitude Era, was born. And without the foundation of Degeneration X by Shawn and Chyna and Rick Rude and Triple H, obviously, there is no Attitude Era. And I know what some people will say, like, oh, but Shawn wasn't even there for the good times of DX. Shawn started it. Triple H couldn't have not have done that without Shawn. Without Shawn fucking tapping out with a lollipop in his mouth. Without Shawn fucking wearing bicycle shorts stuffed with freaking gauze. Without Shawn sticking the Canadian flag up his nose. And you could say what you want about Shawn as a person during that time. He did his job. He was entertaining. Was he upset that he had the job to Stone Cold at WrestleMania? Absolutely. And you know why he was upset he had the job to Stone Cold? Not because he didn't want to lose to Stone Cold, because it was the end of his career as far as he knew. He was never going to wrestle again. And what was he, 31?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ric Flair was 55, still fucking putting on his droopy drawers, squaring off in the ring against Arn Anderson, who looked like my fucking dad. 131 at the peak of fucking life. He has other guys that are breaking their fucking necks like Stone Cold, and they get to keep wrestling, and he hurts his back a little bit, and his career is done. And that's really the only thing he had going for him at the time. Like, you got to feel for him a little bit. As a human being, you got to sit there and say, you know what? I kind of get it. If you only got one thing going for you and somebody takes it away from you, I wouldn't be fucking happy either.
Yeah.
Like, what else is there to do in life except pop pills and drink? And again, I'm not saying Shawn was a great guy to work with, but you know what? Despite all the problems that Shawn caused backstage, everybody still said he was the best to work with in the ring. And after all, that's where it matters, doesn't it? The whole point for us as fans is you have to be entertaining. That's why it's like Gladiator. Are you not entertained? And there was never a time when Shawn got in the ring and you sat there and you were like, I fucking can't stand watching this guy. That's not a fucking thing. Shawn never had a bad match.
Right.
You know? He could wrestle, like as they say, Shawn could have wrestled with a mop and looked great. He could have wrestled with a broom. He had a whole match with a fucking ladder. Him and the ladder. And it was amazing. Yeah. All right?
All right.
So Shawn is my Teddy Roosevelt, who was hated by many, but necessary. Because everybody in politics hated Teddy Roosevelt. And he was the youngest president in the history of our presidency. And some people will say JFK. JFK was the youngest elected president. Teddy Roosevelt was not elected. He was appointed president because the McKinley got killed, and he was vice president at the time. And then last but not least, definitely not least,
little history lesson.
And I know you know what? I throw it all around. And this might come as a surprise to some, but I have very good, solid reasons for why I'm going to pick this guy. My Abraham Lincoln, the guy who joined everybody together, the guy who was the rock that held everyone together, the place that you could build the WWE on. The Undertaker. Because backstage, The Undertaker resolved all problems. The Undertaker is the one that kind of stopped everybody from flipping out over the screw job.
Yeah.
The Undertaker was the one that everybody went to when there was a problem between management and the locker room. And aside from having a huge part of, his input into the business, The Undertaker was big behind the scenes, well respected among his peers, and always did his absolute best. One of the key moments of the Attitude Era is him throwing Mick off of the Hell in a Cell, and everybody gives all the credit in the world to Mick Foley, and they should. Little known fact, The Undertaker had a broken ankle walking down to the ring. So this man had a broken ankle, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to walk down there and do my job anyway. A broken ankle. I have plantar fasciitis, and I don't want to get out of bed in the morning.
Oh, me too.
So that's my Mount Rushmore. Honorable mention to Triple H, and you're going to sit there and go, what about The Rock? Fuck The Rock. He was in wrestling for like 6 years, did what he needed to do to get out of wrestling, and it's like he's like the guy that broke up with his girlfriend and keeps coming back to fuck with her every so often to get her hopes up.
Okay. My Mount Rushmore. I don't have the cool analogies to the actual presidents on Mount Rushmore like you do.
Did you like my analogies?
Listen, yeah, I did. I'm sitting here. That's why I was smirking. I'm like, God damn it, those are good.
By the way, I just picked those up off the fly. I had my rum. I was sitting here and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking.
That's good.
It was a promo. I cut a great promo just now on the fly. I'm not like The Rock. I didn't have to write it down on my forearm.
Oh, so my Mount Rushmore. I'll just get this out of the way. Number one. I'm sorry. I don't want to say number one because they're not in any order. But my Mount Rushmore, The Rock. Huge Rock fan, and just his impact.
Where'd that come from?
His impact and just what he contributed for the Attitude Era, especially when Austin got hurt. He picked the ball up and he carried it, and he went the distance. Yeah, he left after 2002, but you know what? Attitude Era was over by then, so The Rock is on my Mount Rushmore.
Did you ever stop and think that maybe the Attitude Era ended because he left? Thanks a lot, Rock.
No, the Attitude Era ended because they went PG.
Because The Rock left.
So The Rock is my Mount Rushmore, and the other person is the Game, Triple H, because I've been doing my Attitude Era marathon, and I'm up to WrestleMania 2000 now, and The Rock is just so Triple H was he was the villain. He was like the focal point of everything. Him, Stephanie, DX. They kicked Billy Gunn out of DX, and no one even cared. Billy Gunn was probably the most over person in DX at one point. And
by the way, I just want to point out, to this day, I still love Billy Gunn. He's still my favorite. He's my second favorite member of DX.
Yeah, I love Billy. I always wanted him to be like, heavyweight champion. I wanted him to get like a little run, with the title, but it never happened. But, just the way Triple H grew in from, Triple H, Shawn Michaels' sidekick. Then he was the leader of DX, but it was still kind of like a mid-card group in a way. They weren't really going after, the heavyweight title. And then, DX broke up. Triple H joined the corporation. China was with him. And then once the corporate ministry dissolved, Triple H was doing his own thing. And then DX got back together. And then the McMahon-Helmsley regime. Triple H grew into what he is now during the Attitude Era. And that's why I got to share that one. And that's why that's hilarious. Coop, Nick, of course, like the ass man. Love it. And just the way, Triple H carried everything, he's there. And my number 3 is Vince McMahon. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's not really a wrestler. He wrestled during the Attitude Era. He took bumps, that St. Valentine's Day Massacre, the stunners. He got hit with a rock bottom, a last ride, and a stunner leading up to Armageddon for the 6-man Hell in a Cell. Vince was, you thought you wanted to cheer for him as the good guy, and then he hits The Rock in the head with a steel chair. It cost him the belt at WrestleMania. Vince was always that bastard that you couldn't trust, and No Chance in Hell is a great theme song.
It was another reason.
That was terrible. That may be the only downfall.
That was great. What are you talking about?
Vince should not have been the greater power.
No, you know what? It was. You want to know why it was great? Is because it brought Stephanie into the fold.
It did, but someone else could have been the greater power.
No, it had to be Vince because see, you're looking at it at the moment. Look,
right. Okay.
Down the road when she marries Triple H and why she marries Triple H and the McMahon Helmsley faction. How did that happen?
And which is why Triple H is in my Mount Rushmore. So that makes sense.
That doesn't happen without Vince, without that moment.
Right. I like that.
I don't want you to say I'm right. I just want you to understand.
No, because I am watching it now. And then she even mentions it too about why she married Triple H. She goes, you had me abducted by The Undertaker. You had, me this black wedding. So now it's my payback. You're right. Because if Vince wasn't the greater power, she couldn't have said all of that to where it caused her to do that.
There would be no reason.
You're right. No, you're right. I'm not just saying you're right to say you're right.
I feel like you're watching it like I'm your wife, where you're just like, you're right, babe. Let's just get over this.
No, but see, I would tell my wife you're right and not give her reasons why she's right, because she would be like, I know because I'm right. I'm giving you the reasons. So
all right, fair enough.
So we know, and obviously, to cap out my Mount Rushmore is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Without him, I don't think there's an Attitude Era without Stone Cold. I know you said without Shawn, but, and that's why Shawn's not really in my Mount Rushmore. He gets like an honorable mention. He gets the honorable mention. Mick Foley gets the honorable mention. The Undertaker gets an honorable mention. And it's because of Stone Cold, that Austin 316, he sold millions of dollars in merchandise. That glass broke. No matter what was going on, that glass broke, and you stood up, you were paying attention, and you were glued to whatever was happening. Are you dropping your rum glass over there?
That would never happen.
But that's my Mount Rushmore. We got The Game, The Rock, The Boss, and the Rattlesnake.
And you know what? I will never debate you about that, because that's your Mount Rushmore, and that's respectable. I have no problem with that at all. And again, I don't want to trivialize what The Rock meant to the Attitude Era. He meant a lot to the Attitude Era. I'm right now, especially today in 2023, I'm just pretty much against anybody who claims that NOI heritage, because I honestly don't feel like any of them really earned it. I don't. I just don't. The guy
43 minutes we went without you getting mad at the bloodline. 43 minutes.
I'm not a fan of those guys. Like, I am not a fan of nepotism. And I'll say that as somebody who had to follow in the footsteps of his father. It was not easier for me by any stretch. I didn't get a free shot. As a matter of fact, I got treated worse as a younger guy, because I got told, like, you should fucking know better. But these guys, like, they show up and they're like, day one, they're like, you're going to be in WWE. And I just can't, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. I'm not, like, if the question becomes, if The Rock is not related to these NOI guys, if they're not related to the Wild Samoans, are they where they are right now? And the answer is no, because Roman wasn't fucking over.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Buried. Bad. Roman was getting X-Pac heat like Dana Brooke is right now. Somehow he's the fucking heavyweight champion. He's a universal champion somehow. How?
Here's the thing. I feel like if, a brother, a parent, a cousin, an uncle, whatever it may be, was already in the business, and you're in that business because of them, it's almost like, hey, man, where you working? Are they hiring? Can you, like, set me up with an interview? I get the interview.
I'd be like, fuck no, go work your way through, bitch.
I would get the interview, but that's on me to get the job. And that's on me if I get the job to succeed in the job. It's not like Roman or even The Rock. The Rock got the opportunity because of his dad and his grandfather. And, they put him in a situation to try to succeed, and it didn't work. Die, Rocky, die. But then he got himself over by giving him the mic and letting him be himself. If he got the mic and he failed, he would have been fired. There's no way he would have still been there.
I'm not saying that The Rock doesn't get over on his own. What I'm saying is that Rocky Maivia didn't have the repertoire. He didn't have the background. He wrestled for like 6 months before he's headlining fucking Survivor Series. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy.
It's how you debut people that you want to. But here's the thing, though. If he would have failed, it wouldn't have mattered that he main evented. He would have been a footnote. He would have been a trivia question.
But again, no matter what they were going to do, he was going to succeed. No matter what, they shoved him down our throats. He won the He was the number 2 guy in the company, and everybody hated him.
And then look what happened. That eyebrow.
And then everybody. Wait, hold on. He was the number 2 guy in the company, and everybody hated him. That's crazy. That's crazy. And honestly, I can't stand fucking Roman Reigns either. He's got 3 fucking moves. The Usos, they've got 1 fucking move. They mid kick. It's not even a super kick because everybody kicks out. The Booker T was talking about anybody who slaps their leg should be fired on the spot. He was talking about the Usos. They throw 1,000 mid kicks per match. Nobody gets knocked out by it. And they're just fucking. I just did as many fucking mid kicks as the Usos do in their fucking matches. That's all they do. They were Jordans and they mid kick people, and they get fucking cheered for this. They get cheered. But a piece of ass like Dana Brooke gets booed? What is wrong with this generation of wrestling fans?
I think that's the perfect way to end the show.
That is not a good wrestler. Stacy Keibler couldn't wrestle. Tori Wilson couldn't wrestle. Even Trish Stratus could not wrestle. You booed Dana Brooke? What are you people high?
I want to thank everybody.
You're sitting here cheering on Tamina?
I want to thank everybody for joining in on the show today. Those who watched, those who left comments. We will do our best to be back next week. And you know what? I hope everybody has a great day. Nick, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Everybody have a good night. Peace.